Hey everybody, Nerd Transformed here again, and today I'm reviewing the Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Prowl. Now I'm going quite a bit back considering this figure came out in 2014-2015, and I know not a lot of people really care about this figure, but I feel like he's still worth discussing. Now Prowl here is a slight remold of the Combiner Wars Streetwise, who was a remold of Dead End. And as far as molding goes, there's really no difference, at least in car mode, between these two figures. But you can see there is quite a few color difference. For one thing, Streetwise here was more of this off-white kind of beige color, or more of just an off-white color, while Prowl's going for the more sleek, shiny kind of white color. And for another, despite the same molding, they do go for slightly different styles. Even as far as the paint apps they share, they are different. Like, Prowl here has more of a crystal blue color for his windows, while Streetwise has black. The light on top, his siren light on top is more of a bright red instead of a maroon. Even the Autobot sigil is actually different, because here his is more just the actual sigil without the white border, while here you get more of the white border on Streetwise. So despite being police cars, they do have quite a bit difference, and even the paint apps styles are going different, as they kind of actually reverse each other almost. Like here he has more, Streetwise has more of the top of the hood painted, while Prowl has the front bumper going. He has a separate, Streetwise has a separate decal for the hood, while Prowl has his continue down. I think the really only paint app they do actually share is the silver headlights. Even on the side you can see it's kind of reversed once again, because Streetwise has like the top of his painted with the police logo, while here he keeps the police, Prowl keeps the police logo, but the paint goes along the bottom, giving a stripe that connects to the front of the bumper, instead of it continuing over the wheel like it does on Streetwise here. So it's pretty much gives them a very big difference, despite being the exact same mold in car mode. They do share, they are the exact same mold, but the paint differences and the color differences do really help to distinguish them apart from each other. And I do think the white color that Prowl goes for looks a lot better than the off-white that Streetwise chose, or they chose for Streetwise. The one thing I really like about Prowl is he kind of has somewhat similar to Dead End, where he has this unpaintable plastic right here in the middle that forms his arm. And because it's black, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, if it was white, it would stick out too, but I feel like it would stick out less than this black stripe coming up into the white. But, you know, what can you do? So let's set Streetwise off to the side. And looking at Prowl overall, he does look very much like Prowl. I do like the police highway patrol on the side there. Unfortunately, the rims did get painted and there's no paints along the back, but I do still like all the molding we get here. Especially the little vents along the hood there and the headlights and the little side mirrors. Also like the little siren on top, and the light just came on brighter for some reason. You just get a little gas cap here. Do you get on both sides? Nope, just on one side, so that's pretty cool, unique molding. And you do have the rear lights sculpted in here, even if you can't actually, even if they're not painted. As well as kind of a trunk area. And I still like they still got to manage to make sure you get this little back window back here. That's always a nice little detail. So yeah, that's Prowl. He does come with the same weapons as Streetwise. He comes with this triple-barreled shotgun, which is a little insane. And it has a little scope on top. And you also have the hand-foot bit that kind of looks like some kind of spark weapon or some kind of stun gun, which I guess fits a police officer. The really only way to attach the hand weapon is just to have it stick out top. You put it anywhere else, it's going to start dragging along the vehicle. Then you can take the shotgun and you can plug it in back here if you wanted, but, you know, that looks weird. And then you can either attach it front to give him like a side shotgun if you want to do that, or you can just have it pointing back and kind of pretend more exhaust pipes or something. So yeah, the weapons really don't integrate well, but they don't really integrate well on most Combiner Wars figures, if we're being honest. Oh, and my board's a little, my review stand's a little uneven right now. But he's still a really good mold. Transformation is the same as always. We are going to go ahead and transform to his foot mode, which is the same as Streetwise, but I will cover it here anyway. So you're going to just want to go ahead and take the foot piece, stick in like that, flip this part out, and you are just kind of half transforming the top of the car. Go ahead and grab this little piece here, it's the front windshield, and flip it back all the way. Come back here, and the whole front of the car just flips down like that, and flip this piece out, and there's his foot. Pretty simple. And it's an alright looking foot. I covered this more in the Streetwise review. Now for his arm mode, you actually do have to remove the hand foot bit. Flip this part like that. Go ahead and take the feet shells or the back part of the car shell, and flip them out. Flip around these to form start forming the legs. Take this middle bit, flip it around. That's the hand-foot attaching bit. Close these back up. Go ahead and rotate like so. Hand-foot bit transforms like always. You flip out the fingers. Flip out fingers. I hope Power to Prime's figures handle that a lot better. Flip out the kind of middle part of the hand and flip the thumb around, like so. And you're just going to attach it to the pipe there. And you are left with a bit of a hollow arm, but it's a decent looking arm. It is a little bit wider here than it is at the shoulder, but if that bothers you, you can just turn it to where you have like a sideways elbow. Which I know not everybody's a fan of, but it does give you a more proportionate arm if you prefer. And you can flip this out to kind of give more of a shoulder blade effect if you prefer. I like just leaving that out as a shoulder blade, but leaving the arm like so you can get that elbow joint. And I think that looks okay for an arm. So go ahead and turn this back into its gun mode. Set it off to the side. Because he is basically halfway to his robot mode. Flip the connector bit back out of the way. Go ahead and turn the legs forward and split them. You are going to want to make sure this little connector bit goes back up, otherwise it's going to make him hard to stand. Take the arms and bring them out on these little struts. And then we're going to get the hands out, which come out a little bit easier than they did on Streetwise, because Streetwise the ratchets were so tight on mine. So they do come out okay here. Go ahead and flip this bit down again. But for this, you're actually going to bring it back up on that double hinge. Then take this panel, flip it down to connect to make the chest. And then just the top shell piece here comes back on its own separate double hinge, separate from the hinge we were using to fold the front car piece down, as you can see there. Or there. You can see there. This is what you're going to use for the leg or arm mode. This part's what you're going to use for the robot mode. Bring it back. That forms his backpack. And there you have Combined Wars Prowl in his robot mode. No, my helmet. There we go. Alright, now he's the robot mode. Let's go ahead and send next to Streetwise just to show all the differences. And once you get next to Streetwise, you can see quite a few differences. Now, I never thought Streetwise's off-white looked that bad until I saw Prowl, and yeah, I don't necessarily think this is bad still, but I do think this looks a lot nicer as far as the white goes. Now here the deco starts to get really similar. Not in colors per se, but more in placement. Like the legs here, they both have the shin guard kind of square piece going. For the arms, Prowl does not actually have any paint, while... Oh, he knocked over for some reason. While Streetwise did get red paint here. Prowl on his front plate here only gets just the trim of red around, or trim of black around, while he got fully painted, I believe. Or is this just black, actually? No, it's actually painted black. Kind of strange since this whole piece is black anyway, but, you know. And then they both got their faces painted, so Prowl actually has a little bit less paint, but he still looks pretty good next to each other. And like I said, I do think the white that Prowl looks a little better. Plus, he has a little bit more colors going on. I mean, he does have a lot more breakup between the colors. His main colors are being white, black, and gray, with a little bit of blue and red to break it up. That's actually my main problem with this figure, is I wish there was actually a little bit of red in this. Like, you could have put a little bit of red stripe here, maybe some right here on the chest area, or even just like a stripe down the side of the leg or something. Just something to help break up all this white and black, because it really is a little overwhelming. Now, he does have his weapons. He has his triple barrel shotgun. And he does have the hand-foot gun, which again looks kind of like a stun gun of some kind of uber stun gun. Maybe it's to take down Megatron. Why you wouldn't want to use lethal fire against Megatron, I'll never know. But, you know, you get him all armed up, and he does make for a rare, dangerous-looking police officer. Now, I believe this Prowl is actually more based on the IDW style look of Prowl. Not necessarily in the car or the body, but the head, from what I've seen of IDW Prowl, definitely looks a lot like IDW Prowl. And it's one of the main reasons I got him over, say, Universe Prowl, because for one thing, I think the body overall all looks a little better. I really don't like how the Universe car mold really looks. And I just really like how this head sculpt looks. I think it looks really nice. But this figure does have quite a few flaws. For one thing, he doesn't have the chest bumper going on. I mean, they kind of emulate it with the chest plate, and you can even kind of flip it out more like this if you want it to kind of look more like a bumper. He kind of suffers from no real feet syndrome, because there is a little bump where it kind of implies a foot, but I wish this piece slid out or something. They give him more of a foot, because it's honestly just flat, and that kind of thing bugs me a little. It looks like a foot, but it doesn't look like a foot from here. From this way, it just looks like he's staying on 2 chunks of car. So yeah, I don't really like that. Plus his arms, for some reason this mold has this weird thing going on where if you set the arm all the way in place, you can actually see on the inside. If you set the arm straight, it actually makes the arm bend back a little from where the elbow is, which also makes his arms look extremely short. So if you want his arms to look normal, or look as long as they're supposed to be, you actually have to bend them a little, like this. Although not actually bending them, because if you look at it, when it's bent, it's actually flat with the rest of the shoulder. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird side effect of this mold. I'm not sure why, but all of them are like that. And it's just kind of how the arms mold to the side of the car, where you're kind of going to have perpendicularness going on. It's a little weird, but, you know, you get used to it after a while. So yeah, the main thing that really sets this up is Prowl is the head. The head does look really good. I think this is honestly one of the best Prowl heads we've ever gotten as far as sculpting goes. It does look very nice. The little head pieces, the little crest is done up in red, silver for the face, and just a little dab of blue for the eyes. It looks very nice. One thing I don't like though is that the arms got reversed colors. If you know Prowl, G1 Prowl, he has black arms with white fists. Now maybe this is more accurate to his IDW look. Maybe that's why they did this, but it just looks a little wrong for Prowl to me. I've always just imagined Prowl with. I know it's just a simple color reversal. They're the same colors that are always on its arms, but it's always going to look a little off to me. But overall, you know, it's still a good mold. So articulation-wise, he does have a ball joint at the head, which does look around pretty well, and you can look up and down slightly. Ball joints his shoulders, which do fully rotate and just go outward. You can also use the struts to give him a little bit extra if you want. You do get a swivel, though from the side it looks kind of painful, I'll be honest. You do get 90 degree, a hair over 90 degree elbows. No hand articulation unless you want to count this little ratchet piece here. You do get a swivel at the waist, and you do get ball jointed hips, so they're universal. Swivel right below the hips, and 90 degree, well, a hair over 90 degree knees, 92 degree knees, whichever you want to call that. And his feet are sculpted to be open, so you actually cannot have his feet together really unless you want to look a little awkward. They are sculpted to kind of have them slightly splayed apart, which is pretty nice. Though you do it more than that and get a little bit rocky. Though this is the one good thing about how blocky his feet are, he can actually split them further and still actually hold okay. I mean, he will tip back easily, but he could hold the pose if you want. Plus, you know, you could also flip this out and kind of give him more of a something to stand on, which will look weird, but you can do it if you want. So yeah, that's Combiner Wars Prowl. Pretty much the same mold as Streetwise, same good pros and cons as Streetwise. He does come with a couple of his own cons, as being a Prowl character, you expect certain characteristics like the car hood. I do wish this mold still had some actual feet. That's my biggest problem with this mold overall. The colors on the arms, it's kind of a personal thing. You know, it's probably gonna bug some other people. But he's a decent alternative to the Universe mold, especially if you get the smokescreen. I think the smokescreen's the biggest standout for this, because the Universe smokescreen had yellow added to it, and it just looked weird. I don't like it. So this can make it for a good replacement. The only problem is the blue streak was like an exclusive, I think. So if you want to get all three in the same mold, you're going to have some difficulties no matter what. But Combiner Wars do make for a decent alternative, and if you just want smokescreen and Prowl, they'll do for you, and then just get the blue streak Universe mold, I guess, or silver streak, I think it was called back then. But yeah, really good mold. I think this is worth picking up, especially since these are kind of cheap. I think these days, I don't know. I think Combiner Wars are actually going back up in price, and Titans Returns kind of going down in price. Seems like whatever the previous series was will go down in price, but then any series before that starts jumping up in price again. It's kind of weird how Transformers work. But anyway, this has been Nerd Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.